In 1904, Louis Cartier created something legendary, and it marked 3 significant moments in the world of watchmaking. He created the first male wristwatch, the first pilot watch, and the first square-shaped watch. Just one of these achievements alone is remarkable, but the fact that all 3 are embodied in a single watch makes this story truly unique, and potentially one of the most important watches ever made. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Cartier Santos. Hello, I'm Zade and welcome to another episode of Dial Odyssey. Our story begins in 1904 when Louis Cartier created a watch for his friend, the pioneering aviator, sportsman and inventor, Alberto Santos Dumont. As he set out to revolutionize aeronautics, Alberto needed a more practical way to track time while flying. He complained to Louis Cartier that pocket watches were too impractical, as he needed both hands to fly. Cartier responded by designing one of the first wristwatches for men, the Cartier Santos. And on the 12th of November 1906, Alberto wore it during his record-breaking flight in Paris. This was a turning point in history for the aviation, fashion, and of course, the watch industry. Now, there's a lot to be said about Alberto. He's arguably one of the most fascinating figures in history, not only for his achievements in aviation, but also for his generosity and charity. But it was his achievements in flying that quite literally made him one of the most famous people of the early 20th century. Alberto deserves his own dedicated video, perhaps when I review the Cartier Santos Dumont, because the watch we are reviewing today is the Santos de Cartier, the modern evolution of the 1904 icon. Redesigned in 1978 with the same DNA as the Santos Dumont, but with a sportier, more modern edge, this 2018 update is the latest evolution of that legacy. And in my opinion, this really is one of the most unique, beautiful and elegant watches available today. This version comes in 2 sizes, medium or large. Today we have the large version, which is 39.8mm wide. Due to its square shape, it wears more like a 41 or a 42mm watch. So despite its modest size on paper, it does have an impressive wrist presence, which is what you would want for its hefty €8,850 price tag. But unlike the previous iterations like the Santos 100, it does feature an in-house movement with a 40-hour power reserve. And the watch is water resistant to 100 meters. It has the iconic Cartier blue hands and the equally iconic Roman numerals, which are also featured on the original 1904 Santos, something I explore further in my Cartier tank video, where I dive into the Roman numeral dial and explore what makes it so uniquely appealing. Of course, the Santos also features the signature blue cabochon set into a robust 7-sided crown. Out of all the cabochon designs from Cartier, this is definitely my favorite. It feels the most industrial, which complements the overall theme of the watch. The case and bracelet features open screws, said to be inspired by the exposed screws and rivets of the Eiffel Tower, all in all making the Santos a superb product of industrial elegance. One of the first things I noticed about the Santos was how thin the watch and bracelet was compared to other non-sports watches of a similar size. Make no mistake, this is a dress watch through and through, but unlike the Santos Dumont, which comes on a leather strap, it feels much more like an everyday wearable piece. That said, the Santos bracelet is a masterpiece. It's one of the best bracelets I've seen at its price point. It's comfortable, sleek and very unique. It has screws all the way down and a beautifully stamped Cartier logo at the base. The watch also comes with a light brown leather strap, making it even more formal if you wish, and it's easy to change between the 2 straps with no tools required. But one of the things that I love most about the watch is the bezel. It's essentially a soft-edged square that subtly shifts in form above and below to flow seamlessly into the bracelet. The case shape around it also comes together to form a unique design that flows seamlessly into the crown guards on the right-hand side. But the bezel of the Santos is a point of contention for most owners. It's polished steel, which means it's a scratch magnet. And for the record, I like watches with scratches. This watch belongs to a friend of mine, and as you can see, he wears it most days and it's covered in scratches. which kind of makes it look cooler. It makes it look more real. Most of the reviews of the Santos I've seen have been spotless or unworn. But I believe watches are tools, not jewellery. You're meant to use them and wear them. Each scratch is a story. Most likely a story of your clumsiness or a mistake, but still, to be human is to make mistakes. Oh. And your shiny polished Santos bezel will remind you of that every day. So is the Santos one of the greatest watches ever made? With its incredible history, being the first men's wristwatch, the first square watch, and the first pilot's watch, the Cartier Santos stands out as a true icon. Its creation, along with the legacy of Alberto Santos Dumont himself, left a seismic impact that shaped the future of watchmaking and even aviation. Born from innovation and first worn in the skies above Paris, the Santos is more than just a timepiece. It's a symbol of progress. And this modern evolution of the Santos de Cartier is the perfect example of that spirit. I love watches with a story, and I think there's no better story than this watch. Named after the pioneering inventor who dreamed of flying, and in doing so, he changed the world. It's hard to imagine the watch industry without the Santos, and there's no question of its significance in the industry. For that reason, the Cartier Santos embodies the Chronos archetype. Chronos is the Greek personification of time, meaning it quite literally transcends the other archetypes. Only watches that have significantly transformed the industry fit into this category, making them true, timeless legends. And that's it for today. Do you agree with its archetype classification? Would you place it somewhere else, or do you agree with its legendary Chronos persona? Let me know in the comments. Stay tuned for our next episode, and see you next time.